He's like, there are so many other assets that you don't even know about, like my beautiful heart and my soul. Many of you don't even know about those assets. Nobody knows. You can't put a price on that. You can't do it. All right. Trump says a lot of people want him to be House Speaker.
The former president in the hallway.
Myself included. He's heard my takes.
This witch hunt that's going on using statute 6312, which is a consumer fraud statute, which may be unconstitutional, doesn't allow me a jury, doesn't allow me anything. We have a prosecutor, Letitia James, who's incompetent, what she's doing to our state, forcing companies out by the thousands, forcing people out, but forcing companies out by the thousands, while crime and violent crime in particular runs rampant. So this witch hunt does not allow me a jury. A lot of people saying, oh, that can't be possible, somebody didn't check a box. It has nothing to do with it. Under 6312, you are not entitled to a jury. It's the first time it's ever been.
I think Trump being speaker would be fucking hilarious because while he would have like more power, I guess, it is the absolute worst position for someone of his qualities. He absolutely despises doing any work whatsoever. So it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny to consider him in that position where like you can't get away with not doing any fucking work. It's the one position where you actually literally have to constantly curry favor, be like the worst kind of conniving politician. You can't steamroll your way through it. I know that there is also a rule that says if you're like a felon, yeah, or like I think under investigation for a felony, you can't actually become Speaker of the House. Like it's like one of the very few rules out there. Okay, but even then, it's wonderful. I hope that they abolish that rule. I hope that they abolish that rule and allow Trump to be speaker, because it would also ruin his chances of becoming president. Oh, it's under indictment. Yeah. Your mic's kind of fucked up. Wait, I didn't change anything on my mic settings. Why is it fucked up? I don't understand.
Used for a purpose like this. Never been used. They used it on me. The former president, the leading candidate. I'm leading Joe Biden by a lot, which is probably why this is all happening. Not probably, it's definitely. They're coordinating with Washington, 100%. But without that, none of these cases would be going on. They've weaponized justice in our country. This trial is a disgrace. Never happened. A thing like this has never happened before. And just simply...
It's not wrong. It has never happened. It is a disgrace.
In other words, don't even bother reading them to the banks. I borrowed money on, very under leverage, borrowed money on a building or something, maybe different things. I borrowed the money, I paid back the money in full, 100%. There were no defaults, there were no letters of reprimand, the banks were extremely happy, and in many cases I paid the money back early. And then I got sued years later by this horrible attorney general, this woman that ran for governor and failed. You know, she did this because she was running for governor. And then she ran and she failed. She had no polls, and they forced her out. And she came back and she became attorney general again. And we got stuck with her. So she brought the case under the statute that had never been used for a thing like this before, ever. Where I'm not entitled to a jury. Because if I had a jury, even though it's in New York, and I think I'd be fine with New York, but if I had a jury, we'd win this case very easily. But I don't have a jury. And you see what's happening. This is a railroading. And it's the beginning of communism in our country. This is the beginning of communism. So we're going back in.
Yeah, he's right. This is communism. This is how it works. He's not even entitled to a jury because it's communism. And certainly not because his gamer lawyer fucking forgore. Doesn't this speech violate his gag order? I don't fully understand what the limitations are on the gag order, but they are not enforcing it hard enough. Let me tell you something.
Were offensive. They were baseless. They were void of any facts and/or any evidence. What they were comments that unfortunately fomented violence, and comments that I would describe as race baiting, and comments, unfortunately, that appeals to the bottom of our humanity. This case was brought simply because it was a case where individuals have engaged in a pattern and practice of fraud. And I will not sit idly by and allow anyone to subvert the law. And lastly, I will not be bullied. And so Mr. Trump is no longer here. The Donald Trump show is over. This was nothing more than a political stunt.
Trump show's never over, okay? Let's be fucking real. Trump, so they put it down at 18 million, and they said I overvalued it because we had valued it a much lower number than it's worth. And by the way, my financial documents are much less than my actual value, which nobody even knows.
To value Mar-a-Lago for $18 million. When the smallest house in Palm Beach is probably worth $50 million.
Yeah, he's doing the fucking residential. One, yeah, he is admitting to tax fraud. Two, he's also lying about like land deed restrictions, which is how he was able to even devalue his properties to begin with. The only thing he hasn't said is the Saudis would buy it for any price. Like that's, I'm expecting him to fucking say that too, to just like to hit the full Monty.
And this is the biggest, the best anywhere in the country. There's nothing like it. So they put it down at 18 million, and they said I overvalued it because we had it valued at a much lower number than it's worth. And by the way, my financial documents are valued much less than my actual value, which nobody even knows. But the financial documents.
Yeah. What are the other what are the other assets that he has that were not addressed in the court proceeding? He's like, there are so many other assets that you don't even know about, like my beautiful heart and my soul. Many of you don't even know about those assets. Nobody knows. You can't put a price on that. You can't do it.
That I gave to the bank are much less than my actual net worth. So therefore, I gave them to the bank. They can't be a fraud because I gave them lower numbers. I'm probably one of the only people ever to...
Dude, he gave the bank lower valuations than what they're actually worth. Is his new counter. That's sick. It's sick. Lower valuations. I know the court says that I actually increased the value by 2,300%, but actually in my heart I undervalued it. That's sick.
Seek a loan. I didn't even need the loan because you see the kind of cash I have. I didn't even need loans. Maybe you don't do a deal or two.
Yeah, and then he's saying he didn't even need a loan because he's flush. What are you saying, man? I don't even know if people can like follow what he is actually putting out there. You know what I mean? Like, can you even follow what the fuck he's in? My dad can? No, your dad doesn't follow the logical trajectory of his statements. Your dad is just responding to stimuli, okay? I'm sorry. If your dad is still a massive Trump supporter at this point, like, he's got lizard brain, okay? He's not listening to anything. He's just going, He's right, actually.
So I have a lot of cash, a lot of everything. You know, a lot of people are very surprised at how successful this is. You saw it today with the kind of cash I have and the kind of success we've had. But I'm a private company. I was never going to reveal this kind of stuff, but now it comes out. It comes out because a corrupt attorney general sued me for fraud.
He said the corrupt attorney general is suing me for fraud when I should be suing for fraud. They should be defending him because he was defrauded. Work
with one another, and we can do that. I joined with Minority Leader Jeffries in saying that our Republican colleagues remain committed to working in a bipartisan fashion. We were prepared to do it as well for the good of the American people. Twice in the last 6 months, both houses came together on bipartisan basis. Once to avoid default, once to keep the government open. And while we should never have been in this situation in the first place, I'm grateful that leaders on both sides came together, including former Speaker McCarthy, to do the right thing. Now, turning to student debt relief. When I ran for president, I vowed to fix our broken student loan program. Because while college degree is still the ticket to a better life, that ticket has become excessively expensive. Americans who are saddled with unsustainable.
Bro, how the fuck is this guy gonna make it through a debate with Trump, dog? I don't think this motherfucker's making it over the finish line, bro. I feel like he's worse than last time.
Sustainable debt in exchange for a college degree has become the norm. Since my administration has taken significant action to provide student debt relief to as many borrowers as possible, as quickly as possible. That starts with making sure the existing system works and the way it was supposed to work for student borrowers. We fixed what was called the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, which was designed originally to make sure school teachers, firefighters, social workers, and other public servants can get their student loans forgiven if they make 10 years of payments and do 10 years of public service. By the time I took office, that program had been in place for nearly 15 years. But because of red tape, only 7,000 borrowers had been helped. Well, today, thanks to the reforms, more than 700,000 borrowers have had their debts forgiven. Just the other day, I spoke with Tanya and Chad, a married couple in their 50s, who both work at public high school in Milwaukee. For years, they paid over $800 a month toward their student loans. It meant they couldn't put away any money for retirement. And this summer, thanks to fixes we made to the debt relief program for people in public service, Chad and Tanya's remaining balance was forgiven. Tanya said, quote, "The amount of relief this gives us is indescribable," end of quote. Now they can finally start savings for retirement.
Oh, thank God.
We fixed what's called the...
At the age of fucking 50, dude. Oh, thank God. It's not even entirely his fault. Well, to some degree it is, but like think about the severity of the crisis, dude. That example is fucking horrifying, dude. Holy shit.
Income-driven repayment program. And here's how that works. If you have an undergraduate loan, after 20 years of straight paying, not missing paying the debt on a monthly basis, whatever is left of your loan is forgiven after 20 years. But because of administrative failures, some people who did pay their loans for 20 years or more did not get the debt relief they had earned. We fixed that and made sure borrowers got credit for every single payment they made. As a result of these changes, today I'm announcing my administration has approved an additional $9 billion in relief for 125,000 borrowers in just the past few weeks under that program. With the latest debt cancellation in total, my administration has canceled $127 billion in student debts for nearly 3.6 million Americans. This kind of relief is life-changing for individuals and their families, but it's good for our economy as a whole as well. By freeing millions of Americans from the crushing burden of student debt, it means they can go and get their lives in order. They can think about buying a house. They can start a business. They can be starting a family. This matters. It matters with their daily lives. This latest progress builds on other steps we've taken. We made the largest increase in Pell Grants in over a decade, helping students and families making less than $60,000 a year get to college. We made additional improvements in the income-driven repayment program. Before I took office, student borrowers would pay no more than 10% of their discretionary income on a monthly basis if they wanted to do it that way. But under my administration's plan, which is called SAVE Plan, we reduced that to 5% for undergraduate borrowers. It's now the most generous repayment program ever. Under this plan, no one with an undergraduate loan today or in the future, whether at a community college or a four-year college, will have to pay more than 5% of their discretionary income to repay these loans. That's income after you pay for necessities like housing, food, and other necessities. You can sign up for the SAVE plan at studentaid.gov/save. studentaid.gov/save.
Oh, brother.
And remember, if you keep up your payments after 20 years, whatever's left in those loans is forgiven. And we're still not done. As you might remember, last year I announced a major proposal for student debt relief. We're on the verge of providing more than 40 million Americans with real relief from their student debt. The money was literally about to go out the door, but Republican elected officials and special interests stepped up and sued us. The Supreme Court sided with them, snatching from the hands of millions of Americans thousands of dollars in debt and student debt relief that was about to change their lives. As I said at the time, I believe the court's decision to strike down my student debt relief program was wrong, but I promised I wouldn't give up. Since then, my administration has been pursuing a new approach, grounded and under a different law, the Higher Education Act. This act allows the Secretary of Education to compromise, waive, or release loans under certain circumstances. Last week, the Department of Education took a critical step in this process by identifying specific challenges that borrowers face in the current system, so we can move forward with a new rule to address these changes. For example, there are many borrowers who have made payments for many years, but because of interest, they still owe more than they originally borrowed. My administration is doing everything it can to deliver students.
Bro, this is really terrifying. I'm seeing a man who is like running on 1 HP. And the alternative is fucking Kamala Harris, dude. Like the person to fill that role is going to be Kamala fucking Harris. What happens if he dies, like, you know, in a couple months? Like, what the fuck do we do? You know what I mean? Am I crazy? I don't know. I'm second guessing myself right now, but like, what the fuck do we do then? Is it just like de facto Kamala Harris? Will the Democratic Party not fucking rise up? I hope they have a contingency plan. Jesus fucking Christ, I hope they have a contingency plan for what happens. Because my God, dude, we are so fucked. Because if their contingency plan is Kamala Harris, this is my favorite. Yeah. Manipula ratings. Student debt cancellation plus 25. President Joe Biden minus 18. It's also the demographics that he needs to fucking draw back into the conversation if he wants to win. And just win in general, not even win by 5% plus, so that it actually is a comfortable win. Because remember, Democrats can't just win in the margins. They have to win, given how the Electoral College works, they have to win by 5% plus. That's what's fucking insane about the situation. It's really, they need to win by 5 points. They should have been peddling Kamala in front of public for years to prepare. Literally, where is she? What has she been doing? No, the Biden administration fucked Kamala Harris and put her in like the worst assignments. Partially because the reality is, the more you see of Kamala Harris, the worse your opinion of hers will be. She's really bad in public. So partially, the Brandon camp absolutely fucked her over, in my opinion. The VP got like shit positions. Like, they literally put her on side quests. Like, she was just like running around doing the absolute worst shit. And also wasn't very good in general when she was supposed to be speaking. A lot of people are saying, oh, put Gavin Newsom here. And it's like, that's not, you know, he's not great either. I mean, he could win, but he's not great. Out of all the governors that would rush to enter the race, I would say Gavin Newsom is the weakest. Big Gretch would do well. I don't know about JB Pritzker. Yeah, Big Gretch would do well probably, though. Maybe even Pritzker. The Midwest will not go for a California politician. Dude, California has the absolute fucking worst, like the worst propaganda cut of it all the time. America cannot handle a New York or California guy unless it's fucking Ronald Reagan and a conservative. Do not come for me with this. Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan are both from California. You know what else they both are? Republicans. Okay? Hello? Are we forgetting something very serious here? Americans are pretty reactionary. The only time they will go for someone like that is if they are a Republican, and it's not even a consideration that they're unpatriotic or gay. I guess you got FDR, you got Donald Trump, technically New York, but he's a Florida guy, and Florida's red now, so I don't know. Maybe I'm operating on, you know, previous old school Democratic Party perspectives, like, you know, you got to have someone from Arkansas, not too gay, you know what I mean? Oh my God, people are still talking about Ronald Reagan. Jared Polis? Dude, are you fucking kidding me? Jared Polis? What are we doing? That's hilarious, dog. Jared fucking Polis? Are you off the rocker, dude? What? He's literally r/neoliberal, the subreddit personified. That's insane. Yeah, dude, Americans who said no to Pete Buttigieg will like Pete Buttigieg, but just straight, I guess. Wait, is Jared Polis gay too? That'd be really, I don't know if that's the case. Is he? Oh my God. Oh my God. That makes it even funnier. Oh my God. Americans said no to Pete Buttigieg, so we decided to level up and get Pete Buttigieg. But this time he's a governor instead of like the mayor of a small town. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Jesus Christ. He's a libertarian, Chad. He's not actually a Dem. He is the most, he's a self-made .com florist mega millionaire. He is the most neoliberal Democrat out there, which is crazy because we have a litany of neoliberals in the neoliberal Democratic Party, and he is like the most. Like I said, he is the absolute most r/neoliberalism coded person I've ever seen. Okay? Like, you know how I say neoliberals are gay conservatives, dude? That's to a T, okay? Name one neoliberal in the Democratic Party. One neoliberal in the Democratic Party, or in general? Do you want me to just name one neoliberal? Because Ronald Reagan is the one that immediately comes to mind, one that I talk about all the time. But if you're talking about neoliberals in the Democratic Party, I would say the overwhelming majority of the Democratic Party are market reform, they're market reformists in general. Not as aggressive as others, but they absolutely are. Not as aggressive as Jared Polis. Anyway. Biden is a neolib? Absolutely not, brother. Biden is communist. The fuck are you talking about? He's Maoist, dude. He's a Maoist third worldist. If Polis sucks, then please tell Californians to stop moving here. Okay, you got it. I'll let Californians know. Yeah. Dude, I'm so tired. I'm done. Boys, I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel. I got leftovers tomorrow. That debate took a lot out of me. It's very discouraging, but I will not be discouraged. We will continue doing the damn thing, okay?